Hey guys, so today I'm gonna do something I've wanted to do since the beginning of this year, a retro PC build back from 2003 and play some old games on it I used to play. I'm already getting nostalgic just by the thought of it and can't wait to build this machine. The core components I'm going to use will in fact be from back in the days, except for the power supply and case. I really want to showcase this system, and what better way to do that with a tempered glass window, right? Thank you so much to Be Quiet for sending me this PureBase 600 case and the glass side panel window just for this project today. Believe it or not, I still have all the parts from the PC I had 14 years ago. Unfortunately, the ASRock motherboard can't be used anymore since the caps are damaged. The capacitor plaque. So I got a used board in perfect condition from a seller on eBay, and he did include the Pentium 4 1.6 GHz CPU and 2 sticks of 256MB ADATA RAM. However, I have different plans. So the components I'm going to use are the following, hopefully they all still work. For the CPU, the socket 478 Intel Celeron 2.6 GHz with this cooler, 512MB of DDR, 400MHz RAM. As for the GPU, the Inno3D NVIDIA GeForce 4 MX440 AGP graphics card, not with 64MB but 128MB of VRAM instead. However, I knew the fan was dead back in the days already, so I had to find a replacement fan somewhere. Unfortunately, I didn't find the right one with the correct connector, so I proceeded to go for a ghetto method and bent the fan header pins on the GPU in order to force the connection. Also, being the pro I am at modding, I would say I did a pretty good job at mounting the fan on the heatsink with some electrical tape, right? Shouldn't run too hot anyway. Let's hope the fan doesn't pull too much amperage. We'll have to see and hope for the best. Now, as for the motherboard, I'm using this really nice Asus P4S8XX. Isn't it gorgeous? I mean, for the standards back in the days. Of course, I also need some storage. This is where this Hitachi DeskStar 80GB IDE hard drive comes in. Although I should let you know I'm cheating there a bit, since this one's actually from 2004. I have an old 40GB Western Digital drive too, but for this build I want a bit more capacity and speed. Then a standard DVD IDE drive, this one's from 2007 though. To power everything up I will use the not so old Corsair CX430 430W power supply, and all that will go into this PureBase 600 by Be Quiet. Now I know this isn't the best configuration, there definitely are better ones, but I wanted to replicate almost exactly what I myself was using 14 years ago. So it's not so much about performance, but having the same exact components in there and feeling nostalgic. My goal for today, nostalgia. I haven't tested anything yet, so I don't know if the system even works, but I'm crazy enough to start building straight into the case and just assume it all works. And now, let's build. The moment of truth. Will it still power on, especially the graphics card? 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yes. Yes! We're posting and the GPU obviously still works. The fans all spin up and I can get into the BIOS. Now let me check the settings real quick. And it seems we're all good. The next step is installing Windows XP. I'll not go for SP3, but the older Service Pack 2 instead. And then of course all the drivers, programs and games. So it seems everything's working properly as it should. It's funny, this system's so old, I had to install ancient versions of CPU-Z, GPU-Z, WinRAR, Fraps and so on. Otherwise the installers wouldn't even execute. But I got it all working now, installing the games was no problem at all. So that's all great, but now let's fire up some games and see how well they run and how nostalgic I get playing them. How about you? Do you know or played any of these games? Sorry, I sadly only noticed in post-production the screen was out of focus most of the time. But as you may can tell, games such as Age of Empires 2 run fantastic. And wow, does it bring back many memories. So now enjoy and let me know down below in the comments if you know any of these games I in fact played and which games you played back in 2003. I gotta say, this was a really fun project and really took me back in time for a second, made me feel very nostalgic, brings back a lot of memories. And if I may say so, it's a very beautiful build, at least I love it. And this is where I'm gonna end this video. I hope you enjoyed this a little different video of mine and let me know if you maybe would like to see more stuff like that. And as always, thanks for watching.